Let's play this in full as always, but there is no sound this time. Let's watch the whole thing. Another entry in the parkour submission. All right. There's some cool stuff in there. I got some thoughts here and there, but generally it's pretty neat. What I would say, this is a good entrance. I'm always a big fan of a set and a surprise entrance. I think that's pretty cool. It's always interesting and dynamic. I wonder if at this point we could also, since it leads with the head, bring up the head a bit higher. The character would have to know where to go. And this feels like we're looking at just down at that stone structure. So maybe higher, like rotate up the head so we can see the face, a good facial expression. Then on this, the only thing here is that I feel like there's a big energy of those legs coming up right into that. But then it's kind of stumped and just kind of does this, where it's almost like you want to go further out with those legs, stretch them out, and then bring them back in. That's kind of, it just feels like that. Probably pushing the silhouette maybe a bit more on that arm. So maybe that arm holds a bit longer there over just, instead of 2 frames, maybe a bit longer. So we're not stuck with, where is it? Is it kind of back there? Maybe that could be pushed a little bit. Same thing in here so that we're not stuck kind of there and kind of there. Then same thing with this, that arm swing feels like it's going to swing more forward so that it's potentially further there. Now, character might not be low enough. You might have to lean over more to get this on the ground. It's just, there's also something about this being a bit mirrored and twinned. And then same thing again, she seems serious, but then it still feels a bit defaulty in the face, where I think we could push that just a bit more. On that run, there's a slight feel of shoulders not really engaged, or the chest, with such a back and forth. I mean, I see a rotation. I see it in there, but it feels like we could push that more, including the rotation in the hips. I'm not sure if there's any wide rotation going forward with that. And then here. So it feels like this whole rotational section, hips, chest, and even the push in the shoulders, that could be tweaked a bit more. Careful in terms of silhouette. I would bring that arm either lower, so the hand is here, or whatever, back there, whatever the pose would be, but just not overlappy, because I would think I would keep that as a clean silhouette. Even something like this, I would extend that arm so there's a gap between these two. But that's cool. Has a good rhythm to it. Maybe, because the overall style is not super cartoony, so maybe that feels a bit sausagey, fingery, or it might potentially reduce that amount of drag. And then some picky things in terms of how this flops around a bit, but it's not crazy. What I really like is this. I love that during that moment, there's also a bit of a keep looking this way, stabilized head a little bit, but not too much. And then I like this, that the arms go together into this bullet pose into this. I think that's really cool. That thing was like a cool moment in there. The only thing I would say on the land is that if you track the butt as it goes down, bam, that's a little bit of a lock there. And she hits that ground a bit hard. I would continue to go there into a bigger squatty potty type of thing and then come back up. So that gives you a bit more room to go down and back up into this. Because once we get to here, it feels a bit locked. I wish it was a bit of a bigger up and then down and then stabilize because of the speed. But it feels like we're going right through there. Feels a bit flat through this. And then a bit stiff in the chest and head where they kind of wobble. Has some harsh spacing moments through there. I think that could loosened up a bit. That's all cool. Maybe the hands are a bit draggy, floppy. Or I kind of miss attention there a little bit. She feels just a bit lazy in her arms versus some more straights or just a bit of a longer hold potentially there. And then faster over there. Just a bit more energy. She dies a little bit there. Then, the last thing I would say is in the cut. I don't mind all of this. Maybe that camera move is a bit anticipatory where it's almost too early or definitely synced with the body. I would wait, have her lead, then the camera catches up. And then careful if you're doing this. It could be cool to actually, because there's momentum going this way. How do you stop that momentum? Well, this leg can push this way. but we're landing straight. So where is that momentum going? She would technically still continue, and I would probably on that land have that leg more out this way, bring up that arm, but there's a force that can push this way to stop this left momentum, if that makes sense. I'm asking, but no one, there's no live feedback here. Then you got that, and I feel like that last shot is a short. Whoa, and then we're back to the beginning. Now there's a frame limit, but it could be interesting where that could be just pushed longer or maybe shorten areas. Maybe this is the moment where we could steal some frames, make this a bit snappier and faster, and add those frames at the end. Silhouette is a bit of a bummer. I would probably continue with this idea of seeing the upper body, lower upper body, a bit more upper body, knees are a bit lower, maybe even see, imagine you would have, this lower so that you can see part of the thigh and then into your head and that arm. Just kind of pushing that a bit more. Even this, I wouldn't cover that. I would go either break frame and then bring that foot higher, but we still see part of the hip and the pelvis and all that stuff. Just kind of working on that silhouette a little bit. And then spacing wise, watch out. It feels like we're doing a straight, it's visually straight down, but then sideways again, and then down again, and then up again. Just kind of cleaning that curve up a little bit. And that's that. Cool dynamic, cool stuff. As always, little picky notes here and there. And that is that.